Hi guys, my name is Dr. Rocker and today I will show you how to blend with markers. And therefore we will use this brand new ARRTX Pastell Tone Marker Set. Let's go! When using alcohol-based markers, make sure to use an extra piece of paper under the actual drawing paper to prevent smudging your desk. When the paper you are using is quite thin, it could crimp a lot, get like waves when you draw a lot with alcohol-based markers. So make sure to stick it to your desk with one of these tapes so you can prevent all these uneven surfaces. But even better than just sticking it to your desk is to use an extra surface you can turn around, because then you can turn around the whole drawing and get it from the right angle, which is very important when drawing. But don't just stick it directly onto the paper. Use your t-shirt first, so stick the whole thing to your t-shirt, because otherwise it's too sticky and might ruin the paper when removing. Now we have a nice piece of paper sticking to the surface, which we can move around, which is great when drawing. Here you can see all the colors that are coming in this box. But to really know how they look on your piece of paper, you have to try them out on the actual piece of paper you are drawing with. There is a sheet where you can try out the colors directly on a piece of paper, but still you need to try it on your own piece of paper, because it might look different, even if it's just a little bit. And what I do is, this is number 313, so I write it down here. So I have the color here and know exactly how it will look on my actual piece of drawing paper. And we will do this now with some colors I think I want to use on the drawing I will do today. Just try them out and don't forget to write the number down so you will be able to find them again later. Now we have some references on the actual drawing paper, and it's also very important to let them dry a bit, because they will look a little bit different after drying up. So make sure to keep that in mind. And what's actually even more important than that is to see how they blend together. So if you have chosen some of the colors you want to blend together, you need to try out how they are actually blending, because sometimes one of the colors might be too strong or go in another way, and so you can try out if it works for you. And in this case, I think this works quite lovely. And since these four colors are blending so nicely together, I will show you with these on an example how to basically blend. So best way is to start with the lightest tone, and you can go in quite a lot, and then you use the second lightest tone, which is this one, and blend in with this one. Then you use color number 1 again and blend in together, and you can see already this is a very nice transition from light to dark. Then we use the next one and draw into the second layer and use the second marker again to blend this one together as well. And then there comes the fourth color to blend in with the third one, which is green. I'm using green because I want to draw a Ninja Turtle later. And what you can always do is to use the lightest tone again and go over till the darkest one, but you have to be careful not to lighten up the dark area too much. This might happen. But you can also go in again with the darkest tone. You can see you can go back and forth quite a lot, but you need to be careful not to ruin the paper or not to get too wet. And it's also working best if the colors are a little bit wet. You can also blend. Let's use this one again, because this is very dry now. And if I go in there, I can still blend again, but you can see it's a little bit harder to blend them together. You can see there's a bit of an edge. I don't want this edge, so I have to go in again. So the best way is to work fast, but it's not absolutely necessary. You can also do a lot of nice blending with colors that are already dry. That's the nice thing about alcohol-based markers. But still you can see I was able to manage to do a nicer blending here where I used the wet colors. And the colors you want to use for blending are best laid out like this. So I know there's my lightest color, second lightest, darker and darkest color. So I can go back and forth quite quickly without having to open and close the nibs all the time. And as you can see here, when opening the nibs, and especially if the marker is quite new, sometimes they do a little splatter, and when you open them up and put them here, you can prevent to have splatters like these on your drawing. But still close them as soon as you're done, because you don't want them to dry out. You can also use this side for blending, but it doesn't work as good as with the brush nib. It also works, but you can see I'm having a bit of a harder time, especially if you want to blend quite easily to the edge of your blending. It's way easier with this nib, as you can see here. Here you can see the smudging. This would actually be on your table if not on this extra piece of paper, and especially where we did the blending, it was a lot of smudging right there. And now we will use this knowledge on an actual drawing. So again, extra piece of paper, drawing paper, and then put on these stripes. You might have noticed that I put this drawing more to the left because I'm right-handed, and so my hand is always on the surface and not beneath there. There's a small gap, and I don't want that gap when drawing, so this is the better way to put it on this side of the surface. Usually I wouldn't prefer pastel colors for a drawing like a turtle drawing. You can see in those, in these ones I just colored the ribbons, but pastel colors are very soft and very light and have muted shades of colors. So the best way to do a very colorful drawing is to not use pastel colors, but I want to create an extra cool look, which I think will work on this turtle. But let's try and find out. Mostly you might use pastel colors for more girly-like drawings, like an anime character or stuff like that. But I guess we can make it work with a turtle as well. The drawing I prepared was done with a Micron pen, a 005, because I wanted to prevent a lot of smudging from the pencils. So these lines are actually all Micron pen lines, which means those are in ink. But now I will use an HB pencil to create some areas which I want to use for shading with our markers. Of course, you can use these markers to create an overall shading from darker to lighter tones, but in this case I will just do this with extra areas. I will show you right now. We will shade this shoulder muscle. The light is coming from above, so there should be a brighter area in this area, and this I want to have a little bit darker. So we have dark, middle tone and brighter areas, and the same thing here, about here. And that's what we are going to shade now. And therefore we will use these colors which we have been using to create this blending. I opened all of them up, ready to use. And for the extra light areas I will use this 0 marker, which is just an alcohol marker with no colors. It's just alcohol. Because up there I want it to be really light. So let's start with the lightest color and already smudge it in a bit with the pure alcohol one. So this is just a transition into the white. And there I will use this one again. You can do circular movements like this, but you can also use these. In this case it's working. I also want to blend in this together with the pure alcohol one, and then there comes in the second color, which is a bit darker but also quite light. This is quite light yellow, because those are pastel colors. They are always very light. And that's what I want to do for the first muscle group, not more. And now I will go in with this tone again, because this will be the darkest area on the second layer, so to say. And then I'm already using color number 3. And I want a little bit of a hard edge right here, not just a smooth transition. And I will only use a little bit of this marker right here. And since the yellow marker was used as a ground layer, like here, I will do it in this area again. The whole thing is quite light. I will not do that on the third layer. Let me just do this one real quick. You can see this is lighter than when I'm using it without any layer beneath. And I can actually do all of these again. Just make sure that it's not bleeding too much. And now I'm using the darkest color to blend into the lighter one, like that. From dark to light. And just like that, we have our first muscle group. And you can see after a while the bleeding is getting bigger and bigger, so give the paper a little bit of time and make sure not to blend too much in one area all the time, because we are starting to get some waves on the paper, which means I will go on and do this area next. So this one can get dry and can get rid of these waves, because they will get better after a while. And just like that, we try to finish the whole drawing actually. In this case, which still is a bit of an experiment, I will try to define the areas I want to shade. I will mostly go in thirds, so this muscle is also like this muscle, getting 3/3, light, middle tone and darkest. And now I will shade these as well. And just like that, we will try to get some shadings done. So let's put on some music and shade this thing. Okay, as you can see, we got the skin tones. And since I wasn't able to find a blend that would go darker from this color on, but still I want to do some darker areas, I waited till this is dry, and now I go over it again with the same tone, because you can still blend and darken up with just the same color. You see? Also working. I will go in with this one again. But you can see even when this will be dry, this area will be darker. Okay, and so now the colors from the skin of the turtle are done actually. I forgot the legs before, but I finished them during a business call. But now it's time to do some other areas, and I will put on some music again and finish the drawing now. Oh yes, and should you leave the drawing for a couple of minutes or hours or whatever, take a big heavy book and place it on the drawing and make it even heavier if possible. And then you will have a nice and smooth surface again. But now let's draw again. And as you can see, we are done with all the colors and all them details. And now I will use a Posca marker, shake it a bit, to get rid some of these nasty little bleedings. Okay, so now this drawing looks way more solid. And should you own one of these colored pencils, a white one, this one is from Prismacolor, which are very soft, you can even go ahead and soften some shadings even more. Put in some extra white. This looks very nice. Overall, especially the Prismacolors, colored pencils, they work brilliantly combined with alcohol markers. You can also use the colors to deepen the color contrast, of course, but I like to polish the drawings with the white one a little bit after I'm done. Doesn't take too much time, but still makes a big difference. But that's all I'm going to do, because Junior is bored and he wants to play something, right, Lawrence?
No.
Haha, now you say no. Okay, so all we need is the signature. I will put it right here. Rocker. And once done, we can carefully remove this one, the tape. And you can see I ruined the paper a little bit still, although I put it on my t-shirt first. So make sure that this works out. And we are done with our pastel turtles drawing. I hope you like it. I think it turned out quite interesting, especially since those are pastel colors, and I will make sure to leave a link to these pastel colors from Arrtx down in the description. It's a very nice box, you might like it as well. But that's it for today's video, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more stuff like that, and also visit me on Instagram. I do a lot of stuff on Instagram, also tutorials and lots of drawings, so find me there. It's the same name as my YouTube channel. And now I want you to go and watch this video. That's where I also teach you something which you will really enjoy, and you might have a great time. So don't forget to draw a lot if you want to get better, and make sure to draw smart. So check out my videos. All the tutorials will help you out a lot on your journey to become a better artist. See you there. Say bye, Lawrence.